Hello everybody. It's been probably a couple of months now since I've done an update video, and I just wanted to finish this very successful first half term by saying thank you so much to the students, very much so for a really good return to school. I think the media would have had us believe before we returned that we were going to get a school full or even half full because the attendance was going to be so bad. Half full of badly behaved children whose well-being was at rock bottom, and what we actually have had is pretty much a full school of wonderfully behaved students who have engaged in their learning, seem to be very appreciative to be back at school, both in lessons and with their friends, and I'm really looking forward to another successful half term when we come back. We are all very tired, but I would also like to say thank you to the staff, hopefully on your behalf, because without them and without their hard work and them moving all around school so we can reduce the movement of students and keep the students as safe as possible. They're delivering online lessons, or not online lessons, but they're delivering lessons to remote learners who aren't able to be in school for COVID reasons, and they're delivering their own high quality lessons, not in their classrooms, and they've done a really, really fine job. So I do want to say thank you to them as well, and hopefully on the behalf of students and their parents. So just a few things sort of looking ahead to the next year. First of all, sorry, a little bit of a sort of an ask to start off with is uniforms falling off a little bit. Everybody knows what the uniform requirements are, the students do, and obviously you do as parents. It's all on the website. And please, can you just make sure that uniform is top notch when the students come back after half term. But looking forward, Remembrance Sunday and the whole concept of remembering those lost in conflict in the years gone by, and then as a Catholic the whole concept of November and looking at Holy Souls. We know we won't be marching with the CCF on Remembrance Sunday this year, and all of that will be very different. So the Art and Design Technology Department have been running an amazing project which will see a huge display in the front of the school in the first week back after half term of cascading poppies, like sort of cascading from one of the trees and into a field of poppies, and there will be one poppy for every student in school, so all 593 students will be represented by a poppy. So I do hope you take the opportunity. We'll send out information on social media close to the time, but I do hope you take the opportunity to drive past school and to see how impressive I'm sure it is going to look. Crazy as it may seem, I'm also going to mention Christmas to you at this point. We've got a major fundraising or charity plan in place for Christmas Eve. So if I can just summarise it to you, we're going to open the school kitchen on Christmas Eve, and we're going to prepare and then deliver up to 300 meals for primarily the elderly who are in need in the local area, and hopefully we'll have lots of little extra treats in there as well. But I'm asking for your support. If you can do it, if you work for a company who would donate something, we've already had Heron Foods who've donated £300 worth of vouchers, which is absolutely amazing for us. Any fundraising ideas, any connections that you've got with anybody, and we could get chocolates to add to the gifts, maybe a small bottle of wine or anything along those lines. It doesn't matter if you can't get 300. If you can get 20, we can put 20 gifts in one bag, and we can put another 20 gifts in another bag. So anything that you can do with regards to donations, any fundraising ideas that you've got, and we'd be happy to implement. But also, there are families in our own community. There are families connected with school who are in need at Christmas. There are going to be many more families because of furlough stopping and jobs being lost in the hospitality industry or whatever. If you know of any families who would benefit from the concept of us delivering really nice high quality Christmas dinners with all the trimmings on Christmas Eve that can be reheated on Christmas Day, please do get in touch and tell us who we could target with that. We also do have we've bid to be part of another project which may enable us to have £20 vouchers to go towards shopping at Christmas as well. So we haven't been successful with that as yet, but if we are, we then may have a number of £20 vouchers. So again, if you'd like to identify yourself or anybody else that you feel may benefit from that, please do get in touch at the school. With regards to learning as we go forward, we have had two student cases of COVID so far this year. One, the child was already self-isolating, so didn't impact on school, and the other one did impact on school and resulted in about a third of the year group needing to go home and self-isolate as well. And when that happens, remote learning kicks in, and we are going to sort of move from using Zoom and show my homework to a certain extent, although that is still in place, to using Microsoft Teams. And at Key Stage 3, the students have already had lessons in using Microsoft Teams in their computer science lessons. But there is an organisation, and I'll tag them sort of underneath this video, who are offering free training in Microsoft Teams, and they're offering it at 5 o'clock on Wednesday, the 11th of November. And I think if you can't catch that actual live training, they will have it on demand afterwards. So the website is www.cocoontech, so COCOONTECH.club. And if you go onto that, you can try a free course, put in a few details, and you can register for the MS Teams session. I think that would be very useful to all students and maybe to the parents as well, just to familiarise themselves with Teams. Next bit is PTA. For obvious reasons, PTA face-to-face is unlikely to happen, at least for another term, but we do know that there will be lots of Year 7 parents who will be keen to get involved, even if it's just virtually in the first instance. So more information is going to come out soon with regards to the PTA, but I would encourage anybody who wants to get involved, and you mightn't be particularly active even for the whole of this academic year, but just to show that you're interested to maybe participate in some virtual meetings, and that would be great. And just if you can keep an eye out for any information that comes from us. Going back to the remote learning side of things, what I would say that we have noticed is when a child is not in school for COVID reasons, our staff within 24 hours kick in and, using the child's email address, contact them with regards to work. What I would say at the moment is that the return of work in those circumstances is at a relatively low level. If your child is off because of COVID reasons and they're not poorly, obviously if they're poorly they can't do work, but if they're not poorly, if they're self-isolating, if they don't do the work, complete the work that the teacher is sending them, they will fall behind because the other students who are in class at the time will be completing that work. So if there's any issues with them completing work, if they haven't got the technology, if they haven't got the ability to log on, they can't remember their password for email, anything like that, if they can't do the work, please get in touch with school and we will do everything that we can to make sure they can do the work. But if they don't do it, they will fall behind. You know, there is no other way of saying it but be as blunt as that. I have got a letter that has just arrived from Trafford that will be going on the website tomorrow morning, and it relates to the fact that now within Greater Manchester we're Tier 3, and that we all have to play our part in ensuring that the community remains as safe as possible. So please, it's signed by myself, but it's signed by all of the people involved in education at Trafford, and it is a call to action for parents and carers. So basically it's asking you to consider your own behaviours and the behaviours of your children, the impact that that's having on others, and to make sure that we, not only during half term, but as we move forward, keep as safe as possible. So that will be coming out to you on the website ASAP. The final thing is sort of connected with this, is that it is essential, even over half term, that I know if your child tests positive for COVID. So if your child tests positive at any point after them finishing tomorrow, or if at any point, if at any point your child tests positive for COVID, please ring school, leave a message on the answer phone. Because if you imagine, if your child tests positive on Monday because they had symptoms on Friday, i.e. tomorrow, I then have to work backwards 2 days to work out when they were in contact with people who they may have affected. So even though it's half term, we would still have to then try and isolate the people that they were in contact with who were at risk of infection. So if your child at any point over half term is tests positive for COVID, please ring up and leave a message on the answer phone or email my email address f.wright@st-anthonys.com. Okay, and make sure that we know that, so we can kick in here and keep everybody else safe as well, because there will be, depending on when you phone up and when the test is done and when the symptoms have started, there will be a need for others to self-isolate, and it's important that they're informed of that. Okay, so I think that is it. So lovely to see you virtually again. Thank you for sending your wonderful children back to school, and they have been wonderful, and it has been a joy to be back. And I will hopefully see them all safe and sound on the first Monday back after half term.